Hey, what's up everybody, it's Dan. I'm coming back, fresh off a mental health crisis with brand new content and a new perspective on our disgusting reality. For I have seen the top of the mountain. I have seen that all of reality is flat. I have crossed the moral event horizon and I have found a new reason to live. The material world shackles your desire to your discontent. Reject reality. Embrace entropy. Delight in the unfettered free will of universal destruction. Only then can our souls know peace. I want to be attractive. I want to become longer, thicker, and of greater total area than I once was. I want to be potent. I want to launch craft with greater efficiency. I want to send decapitating strikes deep into the enemy, go room to room and slaughter her crew and disable her reactors, and when her shields fail, I will pump rockets into her hull until the indifferent vacuum of space tears her apart. Pixel Starships is a fantastic game, and I've spent way too much money on it to not make it into a review. Despite my poor financial responsibility, it's a free-to-play game and the free accounts are completely viable. The game checks a lot of boxes for me. It is ridiculously fun, the rules are deep and allow for varied strategy, the time commitment is very flexible, and it has a very active community. But how far are you willing to go to be the toughest guy in outer space? And while its pixelated graphics and cartoony presentation may not communicate it, it is one of the most brutal PvP games I have ever played. It is a truly fantastic mobile game. The game is incredibly easy to understand. The game is so simple a child can play it, and an unfortunate number of them do. Across hundreds of battles, one ship cannot defeat every opponent, meaning that Pixel Starships is a game of inches measured in incremental improvements. What you prioritize is up to you, and the choices you will use and how you allocate your time and resources will dictate your ultimate lethality. Where will you build your rooms? How will you crew them? What gear will you equip your crew with? What nerd are you going to blast today? Do you need to pull out? No, never. Never pull out! A small boy will think it's a good idea to attack power directly to depower weapons. But that stops working when power plant health and armor crosses a certain threshold. A medium boy will think it's a good idea to attack shields, up until shield batteries split your fire. A big boy will focus fire on an android studio and teleport borders to attack power supply directly, but they're doing the same to you. A huge boy will rush teleport spam a poison gas bomb directly into the enemy teleporter, and then send a system hacker to destroy the enemy hangar. Meanwhile, the enormous galaxy boys are engaging their cloaks and stacking the universal timeline to execute overlapping attacks in a single instant as the self-contained singularity decomposes. But understand, the ultimate win condition is to reduce the enemy hull to 0 before they do the same to you. How do you do this? Fucking DPS. Think of it as a race to the bottom. DPS is the first derivative of damage with respect to time, and you and your opponent have an equal opposite relationship. So the DPS can fluctuate during a battle as your opponent's strategy destroys your offensive potential and consumes your ablative defenses. The path you take to destroying an enemy ship can be convoluted. It's easy in early levels to think that building a well-balanced ship is normal. It isn't. The best ships are hideous, one-sided abominations. So if your ship doesn't look like a labyrinthine mess, then you have failed as a starship captain, and I seriously question your judgment in the other parts of your life. You probably aren't even questioning your own gender. The early part of the game goes very quickly, and it should be possible to max out a level 6 ship inside of a week, even if you are speedballing Xanax and liquor to get through the days while you wait for death. Everything is randomness and chaos. Choice is an illusion. We are trapped in an infinite cycle of finite realities, and each sequential universe is exactly the same. Nothing matters. Alternatively, the laws of thermodynamics are maintained. Stars burn out, protons decay, and all of reality becomes a homogeneous chaos.
Hell is only a word.
I don't have to explain a fucking thing. You will consistently be constrained by power and area requirements. As you level up past 6, you will find it impossible to crew and power a hangar, a robust gun line, and a teleporter strike. Effectively wielding all of this power can be intimidating, so let me cut through the bullshit. Your ship can only effectively house 2 of the offensive strategies, but must be prepared to defend against all 3. How you manage this in combat is your measure as a captain, so let me reveal this game-breaking strategy. When in doubt, add a gun. Guns everywhere. Your ship should be as heavily armed as a PT Cruiser. Got real money? Go to the website and buy premium rooms at premium prices. Some are super cute. Some are absolutely game-breaking bullshit. All of this is perfectly apparent in your decision cycle of who to attack. An overgunned ship may look impressive, but those weapons may be underpowered. The presence of a hangar reduces the probability of a capable teleporter. Before long, you'll be calculating power consumption on the fly like an idiot savant instead of just an idiot. Don't believe me? Fight me. Facts don't care about feelings. More to the point, you probably aren't that much smarter than the collective experience of the game. Read up on a good build and just do that. Every ship design ever conceptualized at any level of the game is available to scrutinize. Learn from experience and copy what you see. Did you know it takes 90 seconds for an unprotected human to die in the relentless vacuum of space? Before long, you'll be beating that number. The crew are goofy, overpowered insanity that add a lot of charm to the game. This idiot sets fire to every room she touches, even your own. She's fucking useless, but I can't live without her. Here's bloodthirsty dictator Kim Jong-un, who has the same special ability as a brainless zombie. Truly, art imitates life. What happens when you put a bunch of cute cartoon girls with pet snowmen into space with an interdimensional tentacle monster? Nothing good, I promise. You need to focus on what your ship does and what it's vulnerable to and crew accordingly. This is Dolores, my dream robot waifu, because after creating hyper-intelligent AI and putting it into an advanced robotic shell, she better be built to fuck. You collect her head through a story mode, then win her limbs in a totally above-board horse race. Then you yank a soul from oblivion and curse it with that cloying lie of sentience. Then you put her to work fixing up your shields or some shit. Have a threshold you just can't cross? Have a problem you just can't solve? Feeling insecure and impotent? Be a patriot. Buy a gun. Since the dawn of time, guns solve problems by making mediocrity remarkable, and this tradition continues into the future. Your crew is nothing without equipment. And in the finest anime tradition, your sailors are one piece of gear away from punching holes in reactors and wielding compressed light to one-shot anybody. Even mediocre crew can become massively destructive with decent gear. Unfortunately, good crew and good gear does need to be purchased, so be willing to pay the price. If so far this sounds like a fairly typical pay-to-win character collector, you're at least kinda wrong. Sorta, not really. But what makes this game truly remarkable is that you use simple AI coding to command your ship and your crew in battle. Think of it like speed chess. You're writing a procedure to apply pressure against a typical weakness. Well thought out code can literally spell life and death. Focusing your fire on a shield room makes a lot of sense. Send your boarders to take out weapon systems so your fields of fire don't overlap. My AI is routinely defeating the CCP. I don't even play the game anymore. My AI is so deep that I've completely removed human decision making from the process. All I do is decide who dies, and that choice is pretty straightforward. Never fight a stronger ship, and never fight when there's nothing to gain. Know then that this is the year 2021. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is fucking cash. Cash buys crew, cash buys gear, cash is the premium currency for the game. Stacking paper is the only reason I get out of bed anymore. But don't pay for it like a sucker. Participate in intergalactic capitalism. The market is the most intense part of the game. I'm up on Korean time, sniping undervalued product and flipping that shit at 100%. The economy is click hell. If you see a deal, you better snap it up before your competitor finds it, and you better be able to beat G-Bay's 20% rake when you resell. I never feel bad about buying a piece of gear. Unless you overpay, gear will retain its value, and when you outgrow it, sell that shit back. Don't stop there. I'm up at odd hours. I'm off the grid, snapping up discounts for a pittance and then flipping that shit. But here's the lesson those Bitcoin traders never learned. Owned assets have to be productive or they're just a more volatile cash derivative. Put in the work. Craft equipment with the resources you mine. How do you mine? I'm not saying shit. But ask in global chat. I'm sure Nice Player will teach you. Or you just farm ads on multiple accounts and use straw trades to funnel the cash to your main account. I won't snitch. I've got plenty to hide. Fuck, how many more of these fucking reviews do I need to do until ExpressVPN offers me a check? There are, of course, less ethical ways to make a buck. All combined, Pixel Starships is a game that begs to be turned up to 11. Code one-time EMP barrages to collapse your enemy's offensive capability before napalming the entire ship. Rush entire wings of fighters. Rush wings of turkey fighters. Create choke points in your ship and deploy catastrophic area denial weapons. Borrow crew from your fleet and lay siege with literal waves of boarders with independent missions. Convert your ship into a farm. What does it grow? Better crew. From spare parts. And I'll still get skull-fucked because I forgot to reinstall my reactor after tinkering with my AI. It goes without saying that this is an absolutely fantastic game for nerds. The fleets you can join are amazing. Not only do they provide you with access to community, which my therapist says I need in between doses of nasally administered Thorazine, but materially, the fleet room lets you borrow crew from the fleet as well as send your own crew off to be leveled without your labor. Is that worth a 3x2 space? You tell me. My guild, the Nobody, has a lively membership of liberal arts majors and disobedient children up past their bedtime. But if you join, don't tell them I sent you. I'm planning a coup and I don't want my true numbers to be known. You see, power shifts quickly in the Brotherhood. Look at this fucking loser, I'm gonna blast this fucking noob.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47!
It's a trap!